Hi guys, welcome back to another video on the channel. Just kind of a quick catch up because I've missed recording two of the games. North London Derby on Sunday, as well as tonight we played Atalanta in the Champions League. So this is kind of my reaction, kind of viewpoint of how the season's going already. If you do like it, give it a like. And if you do like our content, give the channel a quick follow and the notification bell too, so you can get notified every time we post a video. But yeah, North London Derby on Sunday. Most people think it's one of the best derbies in the country, and it is definitely high up on the list, definitely. But it didn't really show what the North London Derby really is about, to be honest. Um, Normally it's got a bit of grit about it. Um, it's normally a bit of passion, a bit of fire, and I feel that it just didn't have it at all. There was a lot of yellow cards, but I think that's just because the referee was very card happy. Some of them weren't yellows, some of them were. We're not going to go into that because obviously Declan Rice, some people think it is a yellow, red, some people don't. With the games before, obviously he was missing this game, which that's why Jorginho did come in. Which, to be fair, Jorginho did actually have an awful game. Obviously, he didn't do brilliantly, but it wasn't awful. But I've got the stats in front of me, to be honest. Gabriel obviously scored the header. Personally, I don't think it's a foul. Anybody that does think it's a foul, I think you're just wrong. Um, it just isn't. I'm sorry. If you're going to give that as a foul, every little pushing, shoving, shoulder to shoulder are going to be given. But for Spurs, you can't say they didn't have the chances. They had 15 shots, 5 on target. Obviously, you had 10 that weren't on target, but that could just definitely be just hitting players, shots being blocked, whatever. If Spurs took their chances, it would have been a more interesting game, to be honest. Because Spurs going forward with Son and their addition of Dominic Solanke, as well as Kulusevski, that front three, that should be scoring goals. And then you've got the addition of Brennan Johnson too, and Madison as a cam. You've got enough creativity. You just weren't taking any chances. And then we're Arsenal, to be honest. We had 7 shots, 4 on target. And again, Gabriel and Saliba, good game. We'll say Gabriel scored the goal, and not much more you can ask for, to be honest. For the two, clean sheet. Gabriel got a goal, and I wouldn't say they pocketed Spurs' attack because, as I say, 15 shots, 64% possession. They therefore had the better chances to score goals. But I'm not going to complain. We got the big W. But Spurs fans, you must be absolutely livid. Not the fact that you got beat off Arsenal in North London Derby. The fact that Arsenal didn't really have their strongest team available. Obviously, Rice was suspended. Calafiori, obviously, he is new to the team, new to the league, but he's still quite a big part of the Arsenal regime. He was out. There was another few people that didn't even kind of make a factor into it. But as I say, you had the chances. Are you more pissed off that you didn't beat us when we were depleted, or the fact that you just lost in the North London Derby? You know what I mean? No one likes losing derbies, especially when it is one of the biggest ones in the country. That honestly, there's not an awful lot more to say. I mean, you could go into the Julian Timber. People think that's a red card. I'm sorry. He's got his foot on the ball. His foot is on top of the ball and it rolls over, and there's minimal contact. Like, yeah, if you freeze frame it, it looks horrendous. But I mean, you can freeze frame anything, and it looks worse than it actually is. But in the last 5 games, Arsenal won 3, drawn 1, and Spurs have won 1. So Spurs, you could have caught up with that type of fact there. I think that's the first time in a wee while that Spurs have lost 2 home games. No, it's a lie. I'm just making that up. I'm reading through the last ones. I think that's their third time in the Premier League in a row that they got beat at home from us. So Uh-huh. But no, you know what, Spurs fans, I'll be livid too if you wouldn't be able to even crack our defence open and score. But that was that game. Happy we got the victory. It's not. It's one of those games where you want to come out of it actually. What's the word? A bit more excited throughout the season. Like, oh, this could be the mark of the season where it takes us a game further, a performance further, and we can carry on with that. I really hope we don't carry on with performances like that. Um, and I say that, great segue into the Atalanta game. Obviously, we were playing away, first fixture in the Champions League in the new format, and very dull, if I'm being honest. It was not great. It just looked very disjointed. Um, the midfield, what even was the midfield? That's a good question. I can't even remember what the midfield actually was. Did it actually change that much? I know Declan Rice did come back in. Um, Declan Rice came back in, obviously. Party and Havertz. I'm not a fan of having Havertz at Cam. I really am, and I'd rather have Trossard there. Um, he has played well, but it hasn't been what he was like beforehand, where he was actually getting into great positions to actually get a shot away, actually running in behind. He's not getting that. So the sooner Martin Odegaard can come back, the better. Or even put, as I say, Leandro Trossard in there, or Ranieri. I don't understand. You can't promote him and then just not give him any minutes. Or if you do give him minutes, it's 2 minutes there, that here and there. Just no. Um, Party. The only thing you can kind of speak about is the penalty. Um, I don't know why Party's even trying to just hold his hand until he gets in the box and then falls over. It's a penalty, in my opinion. It's very clumsy. And that is probably one word that I would use for the Arsenal season so far. I know we're barely into it, but clumsy is what I would say. Declan Rice being sent off, just clumsy, just stupid. The penalty tonight, clumsy, stupid. Um, David Raya. It's mental to say when you have Declan Rice, who's a 100 million rated player, £100 million rated player. Sorry, Kai Havertz 60 million, Saka, God knows what he's actually rated. William Saliba, Gabriel, one of the best centre back pairings that we've had in Arsenal in years, and we have to rely on David Raya to keep us out of um, poor results. Obviously, getting a 0-0 against Atalanta tonight, it feels poor, but it's quite tricky to go abroad too early and try and pick up a result, especially with this team that they will pick you off of counter attacks. They will have a high line, and I think if you have two teams that do have high lines, it just cancels each other out. Which you did see tonight. Every time Arsenal tried to play a high line, Atalanta were playing very good defensively. Every time they wanted to try the high line, Arsenal are very good defensively. Except for that moment lapse of judgment where Party decides to just junk the boy down. David Raya, though, what a save. Just the penalty alone, the penalty save, it's not a particularly good penalty. It's not finding the corner. It's not got pace on it. It's not even got a bit of power behind it. I don't understand. I think the boy was just trying to just get on target more than anything. It just wasn't. It wasn't in the corner. But for a goalkeeper to save most penalties nowadays, fair play. Because what, 8 times out of 10, the ball's most likely going to hit the back of the net. But then David Raya, throughout the start of the season, he's made so many good saves. I would say Ollie Watkins v Villa. It comes off the bar. He dives across the goal line, saves it. It's almost identical to that, except it's a penalty format. I think it's Retigui is waiting for the ball to drop, and he's like, okay, Raya's nowhere to be seen. Let's just again put it on target, and David Raya flies across the goal and saves it. Possibly already winning the best save in the Champions League. That might be a bold statement. I'm just saying possibly because the amount of publicity that this has got just in the past few hours alone um, is mental. But that's the only thing you kind of can say about this game. that was the standout part of David Raya saving it. Your goalkeeper saving the penalty and then saving that rebound header. It's not an Arsenal performance. It just looked like we were hungover from the Spurs game, but then I'm not too sure how you can. It's like we've been hungover since the international break. Not gonna lie. Even before that with Brighton, the performance is not good. They need to step up. We need Odegaard to come back. I'm not too sure what's going to happen with Sterling, to be honest. I thought this would be a great game for actually him to start and see what he can do from the get go rather than coming on in the 70th minute, 60th minute and trying to figure out where he's going to play. Because he came on for a replacement for Saka and then decided to play more centrally, and then he just seemed to do a free roam role, which I know he's on loan. He doesn't seem to be up for it. I'm not too sure. He just seems to just be there. I'm not too sure if he was a panic option in the last couple of hours in the transfer window or what. But he needs to pull up his socks. He needs to get stuck in. He needs to actually show the Premier League, the football world, what he can actually do. Because when he played for Liverpool years ago, brilliant. Start at City, brilliant. Just his past year, 2 years at Chelsea, he started to decline, and I really hope he's not just going to be another Chelsea player that declines even further at us. Like you saw David Luiz, that happened there, fantastic. So let's hope he isn't actually going to be anything like that. I mean, I don't even know how many shots on target we've registered at this game. Two shots on target for both teams. Not brilliant. And as I say, when both teams are playing a high press, high line, the possession's almost nigh on identical, say 54 to 46%. Passes, 443 to 497. Yeah. I know last season with Arsenal, we were a corner threat. Every time we had a set piece, a corner, we seemed to be scoring every 2 or 3 set pieces. We barely get them now. And obviously, on Sunday against Spurs, we got a corner, a set piece, and we scored from it. How? I don't understand why we're not even just running down the byline, trying to get a corner, trying to get a free kick. Something. We need to play to our strengths. Like, set piece aerially, you've got Saliba, fantastic. Gabriel, fantastic. Declan Rice even, he's got the height, he's got the physicality to get up there. Havertz, not sure about the physicality, but he's got the height. That's 4 players there that you can just have in the box just for height alone. And then you've got the likes of Sterling, Trossard, Martinelli that can be on the edge of the boxes for knockdowns or even go to the back of the post if one's going to get nodded on. It needs to be something like that. We can't be having these performances. Obviously, we drew with Brighton. Obviously, Declan Rice getting sent off. Not brilliant. We did beat Spurs, which is a victory in itself. Fantastic. Everyone's happy for that. Performance-wise, though, not brilliant. And tonight, not brilliant. And it does not fill me with any hope for Sunday against Man City. That's what's going to scare me most, is because City have just started to reintroduce Rodri back into the team, and it was like he wasn't even away. You know what I mean? Like beforehand, when Rodri wasn't playing, we didn't notice Rodri wasn't there because Haaland was still bagging in the goals. De Bruyne was still playing well. You have Vardy at the back that seems to just get better every single game. But yeah, I'm not this season. It's too early to even say we're going to win the league. We're not going to win the league. No one knows. But if the performances like this keep happening, it's going to get very, very sour very quickly. Because for the past 2 seasons, we've been battling City for the Premier League. We got to the quarterfinals of the Champions League last season. The performances need to get better if we want to do one further in the Champions League and in the Prem. But if you look at City, even when they don't play well, they're still managing to get 2, 3 goals in. You know what I mean? They didn't play well against Brentford. They still managed to win 2-1. Haaland obviously just being a machine. Obviously me and Ben have said that Haaland isn't going to win the Golden Boot. we've already fucked that one. Performances need to change. I'm not Arteta. It might sound like this at the moment. I'm definitely still on his side. He just needs to. The performances just need to turn around a little bit more. A little bit more impressive, a little bit more emphatic. And we'll be back to where we've been for the past 2 seasons. Happy watching the Arsenal win games comfortably. Watching some of the best football Saka's played. Declan Rice commanding the midfield, and Saliba and Gabriel being fantastic. But yeah, that's a Spurs review. That's the Atalanta view. City, I can't really go into much more with City because let's hope it's not actually going to be another we go to the Etihad and actually try and get a draw. Let's actually try and actually fight them. Because I know in the past I've said that draw wasn't the worst result we could possibly had. I think with this could be a game changer for our performances. If we go to the Etihad, score 1-2 goals, and beat City in their own backyard, I'm not saying it will happen. I'm hoping it does, but I'm not saying it will. That can transcend, like, we've went to the Etihad, we've done that. Let's kick on. Let's actually go on, score 2-3 goals every game. Doesn't matter if we concede, which doesn't look like we are with David Raya having the best 2 seasons he's ever had. They may concede. We may concede, but we'll score 2-3 goals. We just need the team to actually unite again, and I think we definitely possibly can with Ricardo Calafiori coming back, Declan Rice coming back, and Odegaard set to be on the sidelines for a little bit further, which is not fantastic. But yeah, fantastic in itself. But yeah, as I say, that's the video for today. As I say, if you like it, give it a quick like. If you don't agree with me or you want to just comment anything, comment below. Also, give this channel a quick sub and the notification bell too, so you get notified whenever we get our podcast out, as well as little videos like this. But yeah, well, thank you guys for watching.